Good morning, Rabbi Sai. From Twitter. Well, it's not on the plane, but I know Reb Eli would appreciate this picture from Delta Sky Club Lounge with a kosher meal on a layover in Boston. A great way to infuse downtime with meaning. Yisrael Shalitsky, as he mentioned in today's daf, about the 300 times. I like this because there's another way of looking at it. I was mechaven to something here. The 300 times for the formula in order to soften the skull to remove the creature in the brain, which also alludes to removing the bad machshavas. I thought of another connection. There's a famous Chassam Sofer which writes that the shin on the shel roish, which equals to the 300 times we wear tefillin during the year. So 300 is a real number. The kitzur birkas ksiv chasim toivo bris toivos v'chol tuv v'nachas l'kol mishpachas. Remember Moshe Weiss would always bless and ask before Shana. We ask Hashem to give us another year of good health and no scares during the year, as we have many new mesechtes to learn this year. Mitzvah Hashem with the gezunt along with the rebellion, the whole family of MDY, all the best. Yisrael Shalitsky. Here we go from the tallest building in the world, our own Nehemiah Seltzer. I guess he's vacationing. Here we go.
Learning Daf Yomi on a high.
He's learning Daf Yomi on a high. And also...
Good morning, Rabbi Sai.
No volume?
No truck this time.
Not today. Okay. Oh. Now I hear him.
Good morning, Rabbi Sai.
Dubai. Learning is a zchus for Parnassa. This must be read, but please keep it anonymous. My mother receives Holocaust reparations. I'm reading it because it's also it's good for the Olam to know if there's any Holocaust survivors out there. She gets them once a year. Once a year, we have to submit forms that she's still alive. Today, for no particular reason, I called the compensation agency to see when the new forms must be submitted for 2023. They told me that it was yesterday. Yes, it was the deadline. But if I get the form in today, they'll accept it. They also told me that if I miss the deadline, that the reparations will be forfeited forever. I told my nephew, who's also part of MDY, about this miracle that I called today. He reminded me that I just pledged 27 daf 2 days ago for the Refuah of Avraham Mנשה. I guess if anybody wants to know who this guy is, you just go back 2 days and see who pledged 27 daf. Wishing, anonymous, wishing everyone a Shana Tova for good health, prosperity with minimal stress, West Hempstead. As a non-American, there's another. I don't like to toot my own shofar. He's not American. So we remain anonymous, but would like to share what life was like before starting the daf, BD, before the daf, and after starting the daf, AD. BD I was learning from 10:20 in the morning to 12 o'clock, which is very nice actually, most days. I felt comfortable with that. AD, after the daf, besides doing the daf and the shir, I've pushed up learning from 9:45 to 12:15 every day. Unbelievable. Including finally new chavrus from the shir. 11 months ago, I gave up Netflix cold turkey. Still on YouTube, however. I also met someone in the shir that gave me business that I've personally made $40,000 from. Don't worry, Eli. Even though I have not sponsored any Shumer Gemaras, I'm very makbid to put some loose change in the pushka every day. Chutzpah.
$4,000.
Hakoras Hatoiv. You met the guy in MDY, and you throw in a few coins in the pushka? There's no meiser when you make a deal with MDY. It's chaimish. 20%, my friend. I want you to sponsor front page in the Darim, my friend. Front page. Hakoras Hatoiv. He meets the guy at MDY. Donnie, you meet the people here in MDY and you give meiser to MDY, don't you? Put you on the spot? Yes! Yes. If you buy a house through Donnie or any other broker here in Rav Shemish that comes from the shir, 10% MDY on the spot. He puts a couple of, what did he say here? Don't worry, I don't sponsor Gemaras or any shiurim. I won't give $180 to MDY if I made $40,000 off them. But I put some loose chuj and wow. The beginning of the email was unbelievable. He gave up Netflix. He just gave me a depression.
You point. He doesn't have Netflix. The money he saves on Netflix.
$8,000, my friend. Anything less is less than a Hakoras Hatoiv. I'm a testimony that doing the daf every day will help both Ruchnius and Gashmius to all MDYers out there. Keep the commitment going. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll all reach new heights in the new year. Shana Tova. Here's the video of a Spanish worker who hears me play the beginning of the Daf Shir. I convinced him to say good morning, Rabbi Isai. Can you show this video? I signed up at least 6 people and never asked for any Gemara. At least maybe you can play the video. Thanks. No problem. Here it is. 6 people, you go. I play the video.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
And this is for the next 6.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
Rabbi Isai. Eliezer Sher, dear Eli Stefansky, I made a scene. I'm Sechtes Chagiga. I love this. It's a new trend now. I've heard this over and over now. People are going back. Some people are going to brachas, chagiga, tainas, the easier mesechtes. And somebody came over to me the other day, said he's already halfway through Shabbos. Few people. You also took up chagiga, no? How did that go? Oh, Megillah. It's going good? It's going. My next point. The time is so appropriate. Just gave an Amaris the benefit of the doubt and let him into the Beis Hamikdash during the Chag, even though they might not have been tar. True, in Chagi, we learned about this. People that were not tar, maybe they were able to go into the Beis Hamikdash. So too, if we all judge each other favorably, then Hashem will let us in the new year with favorable judgment. I really enjoyed and wanted to say thank you, Eliezer Sher, Great Neck, New York. The Parnassa Chodesh, for the success of our family and that we merit to always crown Hashem. The Masechta sponsor, Eli Stefansky, Baruch ben Moshe Aaron. Don't worry about it. No daily sponsors today. Unbelievable. And Eli Nishmas ben not a shalom for that. Hatzlacha for my children. Jeff Rosner, in the zchus of my son, Yosef, Simcha, Chaim, ben Torah, Chana, Refuah Shlaima. Amen. Should be a year of gesund and easiness. It's not easy to deal with kids that are sick in the hospital. It changes the whole life. Unbelievable. Should have a great year. The rest of the Masechta, Ofishel Mitzva Motivators, Avraham Mנשה ben Chana, Bracha, Refuah Shlaima. Parnassa Chodesh, Lili Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, the last day of my favorite sponsor of all time. Lili Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, 3 words. The second sponsor of the month, the MDY Family, Lili Nishma Ezra Yaakov ben Esan Yitzchak, Ezra Pollak. Third sponsor, by the Lock and Lebovic family, is Lakewood New Jersey because Torah is the best gula. Refuah Shlaima, Yecheskel ben Leah. Oh, here's my new favorite. Refuah Shlaima, Yecheskel ben Leah. And 5th sponsor is a zchus that Hashem should watch over me and ensure that I'm completely healthy. Admei ve'esrim. Daniel Avital, Kesubos, 12 daf in Kesubos, and Shia Bindiger, 20 daf. Unbelievable. Yishkoyach, we're 5,078 daf for Avi, plus more than 300 people signed up, which is unbelievable. Collective amount, unbelievable. Yesterday I mentioned that somebody in the shir moved because his daughter had epilepsy and a lot. He used to come late and he used to be very tired during shir. I would ask him, he says, I was up the whole night with her. Another episode, terrible, like really bad epilepsy. He moved, not a single time. He came over to me after shir. He said it was 100% good that I said it. And he said he was Yosef. He says, you know that family that you said that moved from this block, from Nachal Noam to Yerushalayim because Reb Chaim said, 2 weeks after they moved, the first daughter got engaged. The second daughter is still looking for shidduch. And a few people told me this. They came over to me after shir. It's a known thing. This guy.
If you move from this block, you get bracha.
It could be. You got to move here first, and then. Okay, Rabbi Isai, here we go. Don't need the chart yet. We're starting a brand new parak. Daf Ayin Ches Amud Aleph on the top. The official Mishnah. We have a new sponsor for the next 10 Mishnayos. Sponsored by MDY Tehillim Group. Join at tehillim.8mindaf.com. But that's not how you say it. Ayin Hey, somebody said it's but okay. I'm saying if it was and the people that don't know how to say ches, they say okay. But it's so why are they sticking the ches? Oh, okay, sure. Next. Rabbi Isai, we have a very interesting Mishnah here. I have charts, makes it literally a piece of cake. Everybody understands that if a woman acquires real estate or property or whatever it is before she gets engaged, and she sells it after she gets engaged, before she gets engaged, she sells it. If she acquires it before, sells it before, we're not even going to talk about that. It's a no-brainer. Of course, it's a good sale. She has the right to buy and sell property. What we're going to be discussing is Nichse Melug. Nichse Melug is property that's brought in by the woman into a marriage or into an engagement. She acquires property somehow and she brings it in. Now, because she's married, her husband shares the property with her. He has privileges in the property. What are his privileges? She controls the principal of the property, the principal, and he gets to control the payros, the produce of the property. So if she has a field, she has income producing property, she owns the property, the actual karka, the field, and the husband gets to enjoy all the wheat and the apples and he gets to enjoy the fruit. Nichse malug. Nichse tzimbarz we're not really talking about. That's if there's a guarantee that he basically becomes his, but he promises to give her back whatever it cost, whatever the value was when she came into the marriage. That's what she's going to get when she comes out of the marriage 25 years later. That's not talking about tzimbarz. Nichse malug. All we're going to be discussing now, today, is what happens when she gets, let's say, Yerusha, something falls down. We call it a nefila. It falls down to her. I think in English also, falls down. No, it could fall. Property could fall to you, not so much. A nefila, she gets a property when she's engaged, and then she sells it when she's married. Does anything change? Or if she gets it when she's engaged and she sells it when she's engaged. If she gets the property when she's married, let's say she inherits property when she's married and sells it when she's married, no machlokes. We're going to have a chart for that, but no machlokes. That's in the Mishnah also. So you have the two extremes. She acquires a property when she's not engaged and sells it when she's not engaged. 1,000% she could do that, right? No, not even shy. You have on the far extreme, she acquires a property when she's married already, and she sells it when she's married. No machlokes over there. Her husband could go and grab the property back from whoever she sold it. She has no right selling it. The machlokes in what happens in the middle? Okay, so let's look, before we even go into the Mishnah, I'll just show you the charts, show you how simple it is. Here's chart number one. We have 3 periods of time. You have period number 1 is before the engagement, period number 2 is between the engagement and marriage, and period number 3 is after marriage. So here's naflu. You see the property fell. It fell before Erusin. It was hers. Again? You weren't paying attention. Okay. Wow, it's taking time to adjust. It's so small. Okay, here's the property. It falls to her before she got engaged, but she sells it. I didn't have a woman there. She sells it after she got engaged. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Acquiring it, naflu, and selling it. So over here you have a case where she acquired it before the engagement, and she sold it after she got engaged. What's the halacha in green? According to everybody, she's l'chatchila allowed to go ahead and sell it. She's only engaged now. Now, engagement is important. Don't think that's it. Oh, it's just an engagement. No. An engagement, erusin, means it's a beginning of a marriage. It's step 1 in marriage. So you think that the husband has some sort of power over here. This Gemara is going to wonder, why doesn't he have power? Why can't he say, no, you can't sell it? If you do sell it, I'm going to stop the sale. Because really, you're hurting him. He's not going to be able... Today, he doesn't have payers. You're right, but tomorrow he does. And they're somewhat married. Let's call it 50% married. So why can't he stop? The Gemara discusses that. Case number 2. Again, we're talking about the Erusin and the Suin. Over here, the property fell after Erusin, but again, it was sold after Erusin, before Nisuin. So everything happened in the same period of time, in the second period, between Erusin and Nisuin. Over here we have Machlokes B'Shamai and B'Sil. B'Shamai say, you could go ahead and sell it l'chatchila, and B'Sil say, no, if she sold it after the fact, we'll let the sale stand. But you're not supposed to sell it. That's case number 2. Case number 3 in the Mishnah. Again, we have Erusin and Nisuin. The property fell to her after she got married. What's the halacha? Not a good sale. According to everybody, if the property fell to her after she got married, and she sold it after she got married, the husband goes ahead and grabs it from the lukuchos.
Why can't she sell the principal of the property and the pair still go to him?
Yes. By the way, that's basically what happens. When we say that it's not sold, it is sort of, we'll see a little bit of that halacha. It is kind of sold, but we say it's not sold, that he gets the payros, but it will be theirs, let's say he dies. So you're right. In a way, you're right. No, if she dies, then what happens? Who gets it? The husband gets it. And what happens? What happens to the money? The guy bought it. Never, he fell. He should have known that she's married, she can't sell it. He bought it. He spent $1 million on these buildings in the middle of Brooklyn. And then it turns out that the husband comes and says, give me back the buildings. What happens to the money that the guy bought the buildings with? Huh? Anybody? What happens to the money? Doesn't take the buildings back. He has to give it back, no? No, doesn't give it back. Unless she has a stack of money. I'm talking straight out of the Shulchan Aruch. If she has a stack of money, then and they find money in her drawer after she dies, he goes and gives it back. But otherwise, no. I thought it was a big kiddush. Now, no, you have to know that she's married. Here, let's start again. Eris and Nesuin, we have the two things. This is the fourth and final case. If she acquired these nechasim after her engagement and sold them after she's married, over here we have a three-way machlokes. Reb Shimon Gamliel says only after the fact it works. The Brisa says l'chatchila she can go ahead and sell it, and Chacham say the extreme where forget l'chatchila. If she sells it, the husband can come along and take it away from her. Okay, so those are the four cases. Now that we know these cases, let's go back to the beginning and let's do it inside in the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. A woman. The official Mishnah I said already, sponsored by Ofishel. The official Mishnah. A woman fell into property. Now, I like the story. I don't know if it's true. I laugh every time I hear the story. Somebody, because it's just the Parshas Kisavai. I don't know if it might be the longest aliyah in the Torah. I don't know. Somebody tell me. It's like at least 60 psukim, shishi, the klalas. So what? Is for sure the longest? It's definitely longer than this week's parsha. The whole parsha put together. And next, okay. So somebody asked Reb Chaim Kanievsky, he says, should I take the aliyah shishi, the klalas? So Reb Chaim says, no, don't take it. I know a guy in Koilel that took it. He had the worst klal in the world. His uncle in America died and left him $8 million, and he became a businessman and left Koilel. Okay. It's not always good to come into money. So here's the case. The nechasim fell to her before she got engaged. She's permitted to deal with it and sell it after the engagement. According to everybody, it's a good sale. Naflula, second case. Naflula mishita. Huh? Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Mecheres, she could buy, she could sell it, she could give it away. Naflula mishinisares, if the property fell to her after the engagement. And she sold it when? After the engagement. Bishami say, in the first place, she go ahead and sell it. She doesn't have to ask the husband any questions. The chassid, she goes ahead and she sells it. It's only b'diavad. If she sells it, then it's okay. But she shouldn't go ahead and sell it in the first place. But hey, she sold it. Of course, Bishami agreed that she could sell it in the first place. But even Basil say that if she went ahead and she sold it in this position where she acquired it after Erusin and sold it before Nisuin, it's okay. Omar Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda says, I heard, now there's actually a question, what exactly the back and forth between Chacham and Rabbi Gamliel is, as we're going to see in this mission alone. Rabbi Yehuda says, I heard, or I understand, Chacham said to Rabbi Gamliel, when a guy gets engaged to a woman, he kind of acquires her. What does it mean he acquires her? Certain things, she's an arusa. For certain things, he acquired her. Lo yiske b'nechasim. So shouldn't he have control on his payros, on his nechasim? Okay, look, it's not like today. We just get engaged in Shema Yisrael. It's engagement, which is something. But in those days, it's an engagement. It's hareyat mikudeshesli. We're engaged. It's a real thing. So whatever zchusim the husband has in her property, he should have those zchusim here. It's not forget the word acquire. It's a strong word. It doesn't really fit in our society. Acquire. But you know what I mean? In terms of halacha, there's certain things. she's made for Nidarim, he's made for her Neder, the Mitzia, this kind, whatever the halach is. There's certain small nuances that are his, okay? Not the Arusa, but you know what I mean. In Arusa, he's semi-married, so there's a zchia here. So he should also have a say in what the property is, where the property goes. Omar lehem, al chadashim anu boishim. Wow, chadashim means properties that fell to her after she got married. Says Reb Gamliel, I never understood what was going on here. I still to this day don't understand, says Reb Gamliel, why Chachamim would say that the husband has the right to veto who she sells the property to. It's her property. She got a property from her uncle in America. He left her an inheritance. She could go ahead and sell to whoever she wants. Because she's married to this guy, he could stop her? I never understood that, he says. If I don't understand that, and that's when she's married, I don't understand. So certainly when she's engaged, you want me to give this husband, not a husband, a chassan, powers on property that I don't even understand how a husband has powers over? Makes no sense. I'm embarrassed. Meaning, I don't get it. If I was there, I wouldn't allow it to happen. How could you allow such a thing to happen? And you want to add salt to the wound, so to speak. You want to add another halacha that even when they're not married, even when they're just engaged, the chassan should have control? No way. Next. New case. Again, we have Eris and Nisuin. This case, everything happens after Nisuin. Naflula, Mishani says, the property fell to her after she got married. This is the extreme of extremes, the opposite of the first case where everything happened before Eris, and then of course she could sell and buy. Over here, it's after Nisuin, everybody agrees the husband has full control. Actually, he says, okay, so now the fourth case goes a little bit back, but we get it. If the nechasim fell after Erusin, actually he says v'niseis, and then the mechira happened after Nesuin, right? So we had one case where both happened between Erusin and Nesuin. We have one case where both happened after Nesuin, and now we have a case 1-on-1. She acquired it after Nesuin, and she sold it after Erusin, and she sold it after Nesuin. Very good. Is it hard? I don't think it's hard at all. What? He says, why? Because you learned it yesterday. You have to tell the island. The island doesn't know. You come here, everything's simple. He learned it, and okay.
Makes no sense about the first case. If the guy's a gambler, let him show you true colors straight away. Don't get married to him and then have all those problems.
Okay, I hear. The biggest problem is a gambler. Okay, I hear. Shtickle problem, but I won't tell them. Okay, I have people in my mishpacha that might be listening. We don't want to talk about that now. Actually, okay. Actually, he says the property she acquired before she got married. In other words, after Erusin. V'niseis, and then she sold it after she got married. Says Reb Gamliel. So here we have the three-way machlokes. The top one is im. You see the word im? What does im mean? If. I don't want her to sell it. But if she went ahead and she sold it after the fact, that means b'di'eved, it's okay. That's shita number one on the top over there. So now he argues. Before Reb Yehuda said it was on the case of Erusin. He says, no, not good. He's saying it on the case of they fell by Erusin and she sold by Mechir. That's what they were talking to Reb Gamliel. The what? Since he acquires the wife, so certainly he becomes married. They get married. It's after Nisuin, so he has full control on the property, so to speak. He's getting all the pears. He gets all the apples. How in the world does Reb Shimon Gamliel say that she's allowed to sell it? It's his apples she's selling. He has no apples anymore. What happened to his apples? So he says, if she acquired the property after Nisuin, I don't understand why you should have control. So how are you going to tell me in this case where she acquired the property before Nisuin, after Erusin, why should he have control? I don't agree with you. Says the Mishnah another beautiful thing. Not related. I mean, in other words, whether it's this case number 4, where it fell, she got the property after Erison and she sold it after Nesuin, or whether in this case number 3. Both of these cases, says the Mishnah, Reb Shimon Choylek, Bein Nechasim, he differentiates, he distinguishes between Bein Nechasim and Nechasim. It depends what kind of Nechasim we're talking about over here. Nechasim, Yidum Lebal, Loy Timkar. If it's something that the husband knows about, it's known to him, then she's not allowed to sell. V'machra, if he knows about it, because, listen to this, he is depending on it. He's only marrying her. He goes into the shidduch. No, I hear she has good midas, but what are they giving? How many diras are they giving? So he only getting married to her because he knows that she's going to get these nechasim. She has an uncle that's about to die. He's in hospice, about to die. Over there, she's going to leave her a nice house. That's why he marries her. So if he knows, then she has no right. There was a guy, I don't know if it's a Maisa Shekimat Toya or not. A guy comes on a date, and the girl he's about to date opens up the door, and she says, here's the keys. It's on the 2nd floor, down the block, on the Refuah Shlaima 22. Check it out. He's like, what are you talking about? So I heard that your mamish looking into the apartment over, and you asked this person, that person, what apartment getting? You barely asked about me. Take a look at the apartment, okay? Yishkoyach. All right. V'machar and asna bottle. No, it was like, I'm not interested in you. It was a fake key. Nechasim yidum labal loy timkor. V'machar and asna bottle. If he knows about it and she sells it, it's not a gemachira. She'ein yidum labal loy timkor. V'machar and asna kayam. So if he doesn't know about it, in the first place he shouldn't sell. But if she did sell, it's okay. The Gemara is going to talk about it. Just want to tell you a quick word here, but related to Rosh Hashanah, if I have time here. Quick, I thought it was a beautiful word, and it's somewhat related here. We say every day, it's some people's most favorite psukim. Achas sha'alti meis Hashem. I'm only asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu one thing. Shifti v'veis Hashem kol yemei chayei. I want to dwell in Hashem's house my entire life. The famous question is, but it's not one thing. We say, Lachzes b'noyim Hashem, u'levakir v'eicha. 3 things, at least. What's going on here? I'm only asking one thing, and then he says 3 things. So the Medrash asks the question. He says, you did the same thing. I learned from you. He said, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu ask from you? Only ki'im li'yiraisi. It keeps on going and going. What? Ki'im, only one little thing, and then so Shimshon Pikus said, beautiful. He said, if you're going to go into a marriage that you have the nichse milug, and I get the apples, and then you sell the oranges, and then you owe me this, and I owe you that, terrible. If you go into the marriage, you tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells, let's have a good marriage. Everything, we're not going to not tick for tat, and you're going to take this, I'm going to take that. We're in a real marriage. A marriage is hava, this, that, there's different things in a marriage, but there's one thing. I'm only asking for one thing: a good marriage. That's what I want a good marriage, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It entails different things, but we're not gonna be oimid on all the small things. And then if you did this to me, I'm gonna do that to you. If you took that, so I'm gonna do that. You bought that, so now I can buy this. It doesn't work like that in marriage. Yeah? Okay. Zog the Gemara. Maishna reisha de pligi, or maishna seifa de pligi. So if we go back, where is it? Case 1 and 2. This is 2. Let's see if we have, this is case 1, that according to everybody, if she sells the property over here, it's 100% good in the first place. But they're engaged. Why doesn't the engagement hinder the sale? That's the Gemara Shaila. Because if she acquires the property after the engagement, then she sells it after the engagement, but before the marriage, you say because they're engaged, it hindered stuff. They're engaged. They're not even married, they're engaged. So why, if she acquired the property before the engagement, is it any different? They're engaged. She shouldn't be able to sell her property. If you're going to tell me that it's about marriage, okay. But within here, in this case right over here, you see that Beis Hillel say that it's only b'di'evet. She shouldn't sell it. Why? Why is it when she acquired it before Erusin, even Beis Hillel agree that l'chatchila she could sell it? Says the Gemara, Amud Beis. In the Reisha, she's in her own domain, right? She's not engaged. She's in her own domain. So it came to her. And the husband had zero control over the property then. Oh, if he had no control over the property, when she acquired it, it says, maybe she go ahead and sell it, even though they're engaged now. But, Seifa, b'zchus naflu. When they were already, in this case right over here, they're already engaged, so she's sort of in his domain already. So Amelia, she cannot sell it. I heard a gewaldige story. I think a lot of people know the story. I think it's beautiful. I love it. It's Motzi Shabbos in Bnei Brak. The bus comes to Yerushalayim, the 400, shows up, full, jam-packed, nobody can get in. Next bus. People are going crazy. It happens in Eretz Yisrael a lot. Finally, a bus shows up, it says Rehovot on it. So a guy jumps on him and says, listen, there's 400 people nobody's on the bus for Rehovot. Look, it's empty. Take us to Yerushalayim. He says, I can't do it. What do you mean? Egg do it, please. And people start begging him. He says, you know what? I'll do it. Don't say anything to Eged. Let's go. Jump on the bus. He takes him to Yerushalayim. The last guy on the last stop, he says, I don't understand something. This is GPS today. You can't just take a bus instead of going to Rehovot and go to Yerushalayim. How do you do it? He says, listen, they sent me to take you guys to Yerushalayim. But I knew if I come late to the bus stop, you guys are going to kill me. So I put a sign, Rehovot. And now everybody owes me a favor. Everybody says I'm a nice guy. So, I don't know, I thought it's a beautiful thing. You think that, I'm the one that convinced the bus driver. Here, I stood there, I told him, look, there's so many people, women with children, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And he fell for it and he went for it. No, it's not in your zchus, it's not in her zchus. It's the Rebbeinu Shalom. Okay. Seifa b'zchusay naflu. It's his zchus. It's because of him. So in b'zchusay naflu, if it's all about him, he's in charge now. He's the big shot. She's in her domain. So then why does it work? Look back at this chart over here. According to Bishamai, it's 100% in the first place. According to Beis Hillel, it works, but why? How could she sell? When they fell to her when she was engaged, before she was engaged, it's 100% in her domain. Seifa, I don't know. I'm a supik. In other words, why? Because yes, they're going to get married, but they might not get married. What if they don't get married? So if they're not married, if they don't end up getting married, then then he has no control here at all. It's only because maybe they'll get married. Maybe there's a chance they won't get married. So because of that suffix, I don't know what to do. Memela, I just say don't sell it, but if you sell it, it's okay. So now the Gemara says, let's just go back to this one right here. Okay. It says in the Mishnah, what does that mean? Here, look at this case right here. When she acquired the Nechasim after Erusin and she sold it before Nisuin. In other words, she got them and she sold them after Erusin. What do we have here? Machlis Bisham Bisil. Bisham, I say she could sell it in the first place. Bisil say only after the fact. So when you argue on that, you're taking it down one level. Whatever you're going to argue on, you're going to take it down one step. So let's take Bisham. Bisham say she could sell it in the first place. Come Chacham say no. You can't sell it in the first place. You could only sell it b'di'eved, after the fact. Or no. What they're arguing in is Beis Hillel, not Bisham. So Beis Hillel say you could sell it after the fact. And they're coming to argue and say, no, one step below that. You can't sell it at all. Yeah? It's Chachamim are taking anything you say, they're going to take one step below that. So if they're arguing on Bishamai, what's one step of L'chatchila? One step below that is B'di'eved. What's step below B'di'eved? Nothing. So that's the Gemara's question. Ibarlu, Rabbi Yehuda chatchila. Is Rabbi Yehuda arguing on Beis Shammai or is he arguing Beis Hillel? Is he saying he can't sell at all, or is he saying he could only sell b'diavad? Tashma, we just turned down Kesubos and Beis in honor of Yangi Baum and Moshe Horn, in honor of my uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman, and zchus, year filled. Mazel Baruch Hatzlacha, Simchos and Parnassa b'Rebach. Tashma, the sign of Rabbi Yehuda. Whether you're engaged or married, she's considered. Look how the Gemara calls it: ishtai, a wife. Zu michra batel. This one, the real wife, after marriage, if she sells it, it's bottled completely. Zu michra batel. This one should be completely. Over here, you see the answer to the question. The question was that should be zero. In other words, he's arguing on Beis Hillel. Beis Hillel say that it's after the fact that it's a good sale. Comes Rabbi and says no, it should be nothing. She shouldn't be able to sell it. Why? Because she's just like after marriage. Before marriage is like after marriage. On that he said, I don't even understand how a husband could take back a sale. And you want to even make before the actual marriage, you want to ruin it. Shmamina, the Eved Kamar, that he's arguing on the halacha of the Eved and saying that I don't hold it's the Eved, it's even, you can't do it at all. Shmamina. Tanya Reb Chanina ben Akavya. Yeah? He's arguing on the B'di'evet. They said B'di'evet, it's a good sale. I'm saying B'di'evet, you can't sell at all.
What about Beis also?
Yeah. Kolchkein. If I'm saying, no. Beis Shammai say you could sell it in the first place. Beis Hillel says, and he's saying nothing. Zero. Here. So
not only on Beis Hillel, also on Beis Shammai.
Yeah, but Shammai says even Beis Hillel, yeah, it's Kolchkein. It's Kol Zachnas v'Kav v'Chomer. Tanya Reb Elchanan ben Akavya. Lo kach Shivon Reb Gamliel l'Chachamim. Lo kach Shivon. The argument was different. Lo im amartim ben Nesua. A completely different in our Mishnah. It's a brisa. Says you say that a woman who's married. Okay, a woman who's married. Look, the husband has some control here. She came balav zakav mitziyasa. This is what we learned. If she finds an item in the street, he picks it up. He takes it. And her salary he gets. She makes a neder. It's full control. He annuls the neder. Different nedarim, we said, right? Nedarim that have to do with him. Okay, they affect him. But an engaged woman, why? Hafaras nedarim. He is a little bit involved, but you need the father also. You need it's a combo. It's a 1-2 punch. Yeah, that's what you say. If she's okay, yeah. Omerlai Rebbe. Machrala actually Nisus. Okay, so you answered me great when she sold the property when she was engaged, before she got married. But what about Nisus? But what's the halacha if she sells it after she got married? Omerlahu Avzu Moicheres V'Nisenes V'Kayam. Listen to this lashon. What does the Mishnah say? In machra. If. What does this lashon say? Avzu moicheres lichatchila. In the first place, you go ahead and sell no problem. When he sends v'kayim, it's a beautiful mechira. Amrulai. Wait a minute. If he acquired the woman in a way, what? He gets the mitzvah, the first nedarim, etc. Lo yiskim ben chasim. Shouldn't he have some power here? Amar lahem. On that he said, al chadash manu baishim. When she acquired the property after marriage, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. I can't explain how the husband has the right to stop her sale. You want to even ruin it before that? Okay. Okay, now the Gemara just asks the question. But what about our Mishnah? It doesn't fit well with the Mishnah. Actually, Nises, it says the Mishnah, V'Nises, im machra. The same Reb Gamliel says a word im. Im means it's after the fact. You just told me that she could sell it in the first place. L'chatchila. But over here, the Mishnah says im machra v'naz or zvid tani. You're right. You have to change the lashon. Mecheres v'nisenes v'kayim. In our Mishnah, it doesn't say im. Take out the word im. What it means to say is she could do it lechatchila. So there's no problem. No machlekes. Reb Papa Amar lo kasha. Ha Rabbi Yehuda, the one that says that b'di'eved, it only works b'di'eved, is Rabbi Yehuda aliba during Gamliel. Ha Reb Chanina ben Akavya aliba during Gamliel. Okay, so machlekes in Gamliel is it b'di'eved or lechatchila? Reb Elchanan ben Akavya give a Shammai. What? The Gemara always asks this question. Who do we pass in like? We always pass in like Beis Hillel. So it doesn't sit well to say that Reb Elchanan ben Akavya is saying a halacha like Beis Shammai that you could sell what? Lechatchila in the first place. Says the Gemara, no, he's not passing like Beis Shammai. He's passing like Beshami and Beis Hillel because he holds there's no machlekes at all. Lo nechlaku Beshami and Beis Hillel. Period. Okay. If he holds there's no machlekes and he went like Beshami, he's also saying like Beis Hillel, or he's saying like Beis Hillel, like Beshami. There's no difference. Says the Gemara, Rabu Shmuel Damar Tarvayu. Here we have another case that we didn't speak about. What's another case that we didn't speak about, Rabbi Yisai? Listen to this. Here's the case. Very, very simple. What if she acquired the property before she got engaged? We never spoke about that. And she sold it after she got married. We're always talking about she acquired it after engagement. And she sold it either after engagement before marriage or after marriage. But we never spoke about what if she gets the property before Erison. No machlokes over here. Rav Shmuel, Damar Tarvayu, both agree. It doesn't matter. When she got married. The husband can come around and take it out. Ask the Gemara, Kiman, the like Reb Yehuda, like Reb Chanina ben Akavia. According to Reb Yehuda, you could sell it b'di'evet. According to Reb Chanina, you could sell it l'chatchila. To say that the husband could just grab it away from everybody, where's that shita? Either she could sell it, she barely sells it, or she mamish could sell it 100%. But nobody said that she can't sell it at all, and the husband comes and grabs it. No, there's a new Rabbi Seinu, not brought down that we didn't talk about. The Tanya, Rabbi Seinu, Chazru, V'nimnu, our Rabbeim came later on, and they gathered, and they took a vote, and they decided, Ben Shenaflu Lachali Tesares, Ben Shenaflu Mishnah. So it doesn't matter when she acquired the Nechasim, whether she got it before engagement, Venices, and she gets married. Mishanises Elu Velu Moedim. Says the Gemara, when she gets married and she acquires and she sells, the husband can 100% take it out of the Lekuchos. Says the Gemara, check out this chart for a second. See if I have it here. Oh. Here's the Churban Abayis, smack in the middle. Bisham and Basil lived, let's say, 100 years before the Churban. Takanas Usha was after the Churban. So you're telling me that Usha are only repeating something that Bisham and Basil said 200 years before, 150 years before, whatever. Usha was right after the Churban. It doesn't make sense. Usha are mechadish a new thing. They came after the Churban Abayis. Okay, this and this we should do, this and this. You're telling me all they're saying is they're repeating a Mishnah that we're having Kesubos Daf Ayin Ches. You're just repeating over what we already said. Says Gemara, Masnisin b'chayola Paris. No, our Mishnah, what Bisham and Basil are talking about is when she's still alive, and we're just talking about the fruit. The Paris, the product, the produce. We're talking about the actual principle of the karka, and we're talking about after she died. Reb Shimon choylek bein nechasim, and he says no. You have to differentiate whether she knows about the nechasim or not. Says Gemara, Elu hey yidun beilem shem yidun. What does it mean? He knows about it, doesn't know about it. Or Reb Yosi, Reb Chanina Yiduin, Mikarke, it's real estate. Shein Yiduin Metalton. Everybody knows she owns this building, she owns this apartment, that's good. But Metalton, how much cash she has in the bank, not everybody knows. No, people know. So what does it mean? People don't know. She got a Yerusha in a different country. On that, and that's what's interesting. He's not goymer das. He's not getting married to her, thinking he's going to acquire this field one day. It's over there. He doesn't know about it. And now we have a right to what we just said. That is considered something he doesn't know about, and that if she sells, b'di'evet, after the fact, the sale is a good sale. Have a wonderful day. Wow, check out the clock. 8:00.